As already introduced, my name is Duane Rohr. I work for CVS Health, the Workforce Initiatives Department. And what we do there is we come up with innovative ways to create a pipeline of talent for diversity to bring into our company. We work with people with disabilities, veterans, mature workers, youth, all the different organizations in the community to help not only get them a job, but to start them on a career with CVS. I want to say a few statistics right now that I got this morning, and I want you to think about these as we're talking here today. I pulled these off the Department of Labor for September of 2015. In our labor force participation right now, people without disabilities comprise 68.2%. People with disabilities comprise 19.1%. Only 19% of our workforce is people with disabilities. The unemployment rate for people without disabilities is 4.7%. People with disabilities, 10.4%, more than double. So kind of think about that as we're going through here today. I'm very proud to work for CVS Health and be able to go out and help promote their purpose of helping people on their path to better health. CVS Health does this every day with our patients, our customers, and our employees, and the people in the community. For our patients, our customers, and employees, health is everything, and CVS Health is here to help promote that. CVS Health is a large enterprise. We're always in need of talent, and we've been working with disabilities for the last about 15 years, and we've really reached into that talent pool that's out there that many other businesses are not reaching into, as you can hear by those numbers that I gave you earlier. We do call it Abilities in Abundance, is the name of our program that we work with the disabilities. So we've been very successful in hiring people with disabilities for a number of reasons. We have regional learning centers. We have 6 of them throughout the United States. We're fortunate enough to have one here in Twinsburg, Ohio. And through there, we are able to work with different organizations. Joe Fanitti, our regional learning center coordinator there, is able to train people from these different organizations. I know he works with CVEC, which is a big here in the Cleveland area. He works with these students through the whole school year, gets them trained. And their success rate of getting hires at the end of the school has been very successful for them. I know we've had quite a few hires from them ourselves. There's other ways too that we work with people with disabilities. I want to tell you about a program. I cover 7 states for CVS. In one of my states, obviously I have Ohio, but one of my other states is Virginia. And we have a program going on in Virginia right now that I'm really proud of, really excited about, and if it goes well, I want to do it here in the state of Ohio. So I worked with the Woodrow Rehabilitation Center down in Virginia, and I got to tour their facility. I don't know how many of you have ever heard of this facility, but it's a remarkable facility. They are working with people with disabilities. They can come right there and live on the facility. There's dorm rooms. It was actually an old Army barracks that they've converted over. And they teach many different skills there. They have a restaurant in there, so they're teaching restaurant skills. They have a dog grooming. They teach dog grooming there. They have a pharmacy tech program they're teaching in there. Many, many different things. And when I toured it, I said, we need a retail simulation store in here, because if you talk retail, that's going to encompass a lot of jobs, not just with CVS, but just think of all the different retail businesses in a community. So we went to work on it. I got some shelving out of a store that CVS was moving down in Virginia. We set up the shelving. I ordered some product, went to the regional manager in Virginia and said, I need some signage. Do you have any old signage that we can use? Because I don't have a lot of money to spend. My budget's kind of low. He was able to provide me with signing. We set up, they gave me a room in this Rehabilitation Center at Woodrow Wilson, and we set up a mock store in there. Woodrow Wilson supplied the cash register. So we got it all set up. We were there about 2 weeks ago, and went there and started doing the training with their people there, their job coaches. So we are going to teach register skills, customer service skills, merchandising skills, and we're doing it all through the CVS way. So I'm teaching them all about how we do this at CVS. They're going to work with their participants through the whole state of Virginia. Anybody with a disability anywhere in the state of Virginia will be able to attend this facility and go through this training. Once they go through each level of training, they're going to receive a certificate. And at the end of their training, we're going to put them in a store and they're going to do a work experience. So we have 4 stores around that facility that are going to be set up to do work experiences in, so they can go in and demonstrate all the skills that they have learned. And at the end of that, they will have graduated the program and be ready to apply for a job with CVS anywhere in the state of Virginia. But that's not only going to help CVS, that's going to help the community. Obviously, we can't hire all of them. When I was there a couple of weeks ago, they've been spreading the word, and he says, I have about 80 people who want to come through the program at this point. So it's going to be huge, and I think we're going to be able to make a difference in Virginia. These people with disabilities are going to be able to go out in the workforce and be already trained. And when you think about that, I mean, customer service, that's what all of these retail businesses are looking for. We're going to have these people already trained for that position. I know at CVS, for us to hire somebody, it's probably about $2,500 to get them trained. The people with disabilities going through this program are already going to be trained. What a big advantage for that store manager when they're ready to hire them. We are also setting up a facility like that in Columbus at the Fairfield County Board of Disabilities, that we've got the shelving and the products set up in there. So these are just a number of ways that we are out there as a company trying to help the people with disabilities to get the skills so they can get that job. It's not only a job, but start on their way to a career. So I'd like to ask a couple questions now for you to think about. How many of the business owners in this room, or HR directors or store managers, have hired people with disabilities? And if you haven't, why not? That's something to think about. There's many advantages to hiring individuals with disabilities. The diversity and inclusion that it brings to your business is a huge advantage. It's been shown that businesses that have diversity and inclusion in their business, the morale and the motivation is much better in those type of organizations. According to an industry report from the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, individuals with disabilities are above average in their work performance, their attendance, their compliance to procedures in the business. So right there, why are we not tapping into that group of individuals when we hear stuff like that? The retention rate is always also there with people with disabilities. They're not job hoppers. They get a job, they stay at that job, and they do the best they can at that job. And we can have numbers to show that. I know Joe has placed a lot of people with disabilities in Region 31 in the Cleveland market here, and they're still working for us. The turnover is not there with them. They stay with the company. Individuals with disabilities bring a happy atmosphere to your organization. You know, they deal every day with that disability, but they still come to work every day with a smile on their face. We can have a bad morning, possibly getting lost on where we were on our way to this morning, and it might upset us. But a person with disabilities deals with a lot worse problems than that, and they still come into work with a smile on their face, which is going to motivate your other employees. Think about that. If you're walking down the street and someone walks past you and smiles at you, how does that make you feel? Makes you want to smile, right? Well, that's what people with disabilities in our workplace are doing. And when they're smiling, that's great customer service when customers see that when they're walking through the front door. At CVS Health, we hire people with disabilities because it's a good business decision. But not only that, it's the right thing to do for our communities. We're not only helping people on their path to better health, the people with disabilities, but we're also giving them a job and a start of a career with a large company that they will be able to move up in. John had given me an article when they started putting this whole thing together and asked me to speak. And this article was called Disabilities, Dispelling the Myths. And I read the article and I kind of was offended a little bit when I read it, that people actually put this into print, that some of these were even myths, that people would even think of these type of things. And I'm going to talk a little bit about those today so that you can hear those and see what you think about that. The first one was, individuals with disabilities do not have the right skills for business. Really? That's probably what you're going to hear me say a lot with every one of these myths. Really? Because that's what I was thinking. You know, people with disabilities probably have more skills than a lot of the rest of us, because they have to learn to deal with their disability on a day in and day out basis. So they have increased their skills, their problem-solving skills, their setting goals, their critical thinking skills. You know, every day they're dealing with that disability, so they've got to get stronger in other areas. And those other areas is what can help your business and your organization. Their communication skills are probably better, because they've got to learn to be able to communicate depending on the type of their disability. They have to learn to communicate in different ways. And again, individuals with disabilities are going to bring a positive attitude to the workplace. They stay positive every day because they have to. They've learned to stay positive every day with a disability, whether it be from birth or later on as they get older. They've had to learn to overcome that disability. So that myth, I think they can bring many skills to your business, and they can probably bring skills they can teach to the employees you already have working for you. The next myth was supports in the workplace would be too costly. So they're talking about the accommodations. So as managers and business owners in here, let's talk about the accommodations you make every day for the employees you have working for you. Do we make accommodations every day? We accommodate the schedule, right? Every day they come in, they have schedule requests. I've got this going on, I got this going on, so I can't work. You accommodate their call-offs, or they're going to come in to work late. I have a friend who owns a business, and then just the last minute she gets a text. People are coming in late. We accommodate them if they've hurt their foot. We might give them a chair to sit on. They've hurt their back. We might tell them not to lift anything today, take it easy today. They're not feeling well. We make accommodations for that. So we're making accommodations every day for the employees that we already have working for you. The accommodations for people with disabilities really is not much different. According to Work Trends, the report that was put out by them, 73% of people with disabilities that are in the workforce needed no accommodations whatsoever. So that's not really an excuse we can use about the accommodations. I was in Rhode Island, where our corporate office is the last 2 days, and I met with the accommodations department there. And they tell me the accommodations are not expensive. That's not where they ever run into any problems. Accommodations really aren't expensive. A lot of your organizations that are here today can help with those accommodations. I think the state of Ohio even helps make some of those accommodations for businesses when you're hiring people with disabilities. So that is a myth. It really is not going to cost the business much. The third myth, saying the wrong thing in the workplace will offend the employee with disabilities. Quite frankly, if you're saying stuff that you think is going to offend somebody with disabilities, you're probably offending your regular employees in your store too. Because they might have families members that have a disability. If you're saying that kind of stuff, you probably shouldn't be in the professional working world if you're going to offend people like that, in my opinion. If we're using proper etiquette and treating people with respect the way you want to be treated, that will not be a worry that you're going to say the wrong thing in front of a person with a disability. And you know, me being around people with disabilities in this, going to these different organizations, you know, their understanding of that. You know, you're not going to say the wrong thing. One of the other myths is coworkers will be uncomfortable and their productivity will be negatively impacted. That's a big really. Why would a person with a disability impact your business and make coworkers have a negative outlook? I really didn't understand that one. If anything, I think there's going to be a more positive outlook in your place of business. Because your employees are going to see an employee that comes into work every day with a positive attitude, a smile on their face, and they're getting the job done, overcoming their disability. I think that's going to make the other employees think, if they can do it with a disability, why can't I get this done? And maybe get them to work a little harder. You know, we all have those employees who do enough just to get by. Maybe having that person with a disability there showing them up is going to make that employee work a little harder so that they don't look bad. And again, having employees with disabilities in there with smiles on their face, positive attitude, that's contagious. And I know at CVS, you know, we can walk into a store where there's a positive, you can feel it when you walk into a store when there's positive attitudes in that store. But you can also feel it too if there's a negative attitude in the store bringing some people down. You know, and I always remember being taught, you know, as a store manager, you set the example in your store. If you're in a good mood, your employees are in a good mood. If you're in a bad mood, your employees are in a bad mood. So if you got a person with disabilities in there coming in here every day, they're setting the mood. If their attitude's positive, the whole store is going to be positive. Another myth, getting information on how to hire people with disabilities is time-consuming and complicated. Well, we're fixing that one for you today, because we're giving you all the information you need right here today. On your table, there's 2 cards. If you want to hire somebody with disabilities, if you're in Summit County, Cuyahoga County, or Stark County, it's got one phone number you need to call. And we're going to get you all the help you need. So that myth there we just took care of real easy by putting 2 cards on the table. And I can tell you, in dealing with these organizations, we deal with them every day. They're very cooperative. They're there to help you. You tell them the type of person you're looking for, the skills you're looking for, and they're going to get that person for you. So they're going to weed them out for you. You're not going to have to sit there and interview all these people. They're going to weed them out for you and have you interview the person that's right for your company. You just have to tell them what you're looking for and what skills you're looking for. And they're going to do the legwork for you. So I'm just putting more work on John and them down here. Another myth was hiring people with disabilities makes businesses vulnerable to litigation. Why would we say that? You know, we all have to follow ADA regulations in our stores, right? You have to do that whether you have people with disabilities working for you or not. So I really don't see the litigation unless you're really doing something you're not supposed to be doing. I don't see the issue with litigation there. Serving people with disabilities will adversely affect the business's bottom line. I'd like to know the person who wrote that one. Why would it negatively affect your bottom line? If anything, I think it's going to help your bottom line. Because if you're hiring people with disabilities, the community is going to see that. Where do you think those people are going to shop? They're going to shop at your store. You know, we had a person go through the Learning Center from CVEC that Joe trained. I believe her name was Mackenzie. And she brings joy to the store that she's in. Customers come there. Joe's told me before that customers come there to see her because of her smiling face and her attitude. She's a very outgoing person. We had David Casey, who is head of our diversity department for our corporate office, came to town to the Regional Learning Center a few years back. And we had Mackenzie there behind the register because we wanted some people behind the register for the Learning Center to make it look like we were really using that. We do. But she came out right from behind that counter and walked right up to him and shook his hand and introduced herself to him. He ended up having lunch with her and said it was one of the most pleasant conversations he had ever had. And she's working in our stores taking care of our customers. If she had that effect on him, what kind of effect do you think she's having on our customers and our employees in that store, the motivation that she's bringing to that store? You know, around 27% of businesses say they have trouble finding quality candidates for their positions. But yet, the numbers I gave you earlier said we have 10.4% unemployment rate in disabilities. If we're having trouble finding candidates for our positions, why are we not looking in this pool of candidates? Only 19% of our workforce is people with disabilities. That's sad. When you know how many people out there have disabilities. You know, I looked up this morning, before I came here, what the government's definition of a disability is. And it said, any physical or mental impairment that substantially limits one or more major life activity. Think about that. I think we could all almost have a disability. But yet we're not tapping into that pool of candidates. As business owners, managers, HR directors, you guys make business decisions every day for your business. And you wouldn't be here if you weren't making good business decisions. So why aren't we making the good business decision to hire people with disabilities? We know they're dependable, they're reliable, they're on time. The retention rate is there. That's what all the businesses want, right? We want to train somebody, we want them to stay there. Because we don't want to go through the hassle of training somebody else again. Their performance is there, the compliance is there. There's even tax credits, WOTC, work opportunity tax credits, that the business can get. But most importantly, it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do for the community. They're going to put their money, when you hire them, they're going to put their money back into the community. That's more spending money coming into your stores, your businesses. So I really can't think of a disadvantage of hiring somebody with disabilities. If somebody's got one, you want to talk to me afterwards, I'd be more than happy to talk about it. But I think I'll have an argument for whatever you say. I'm pretty sure of it. So if we go back to those numbers, I'm really hoping that you really think about that 10%, almost double the unemployment rate of people with disabilities. And I really think you need to think about that long and hard and think about what's right for your business and start tapping into that pool of candidates. Because it's the right business decision for you and it's the right thing for the community. Thank you.